Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that has fascinated and frightened movie lovers for decades: cursed film sets. We've all heard the whispers and spooky stories, but some films have a history so dark, it's hard to ignore. We're counting down the top 5 most haunted movies where, tragically, the on-set tragedies weren't just special effects, and some of the stars met untimely ends. Grab your popcorn and maybe a security blanket, because this is going to get chilling. Let's start our list at number 5 with a classic that redefined the horror genre, The Exorcist. Released in 1973, this film is legendary not just for its terrifying story, but for the inexplicable events that plagued its production. Director William Friedkin aimed for gritty realism, even building a refrigerated set to capture the actor's authentic, freezing breath. But the chilling atmosphere seemed to invite something more sinister. A mysterious fire tore through the set one weekend, destroying everything except for the bedroom of the possessed character, Regan. It was so unnerving that Friedkin had a priest come to bless the set. But the eerie coincidences didn't stop there. Several people connected to the film passed away during or shortly after its production, including actor Jack McElrin, whose character dies in the film, and Vasiliki Maliaros, who played the mother of Father Karras. The press at the time dubbed it the Exorcist Curse, and it's a reputation that has stuck with the film ever since, making it a truly haunted masterpiece. Coming in at number 4 is a film that many believe carries one of the most potent curses in Hollywood history, Poltergeist. This 1982 blockbuster, produced by Steven Spielberg, seemed to have a shadow hanging over it from the very beginning. The most disturbing part of the Poltergeist curse is the tragic and premature deaths of several cast members. Dominique Dunne, who played the eldest daughter Dana, was tragically murdered by her ex-boyfriend shortly after the film's release, but the eerie pattern continued. Julian Beck, who played the terrifying Kane in Poltergeist 2, died of stomach cancer during production. Will Sampson, who played a Native American shaman and even performed an exorcism on the set of the sequel, passed away from surgical complications a year later. And most heartbreakingly, Heather O'Rourke, the sweet little girl who famously warned, "They're here," passed away at the tender age of 12 from a misdiagnosed intestinal issue before Poltergeist 3 was even released. Many people point to the production's use of real human skeletons in the iconic swimming pool scene as the trigger for this string of tragedies, believing it disrespected the dead and unleashed a terrible curse. At our number 3 spot, we have The Omen. If The Exorcist had a curse, The Omen had a full-blown supernatural vendetta. This 1976 film about the Antichrist Damien was surrounded by a series of events so bizarre and tragic, they sound like they were scripted for a horror movie themselves. The bad luck started before filming even began. Star Gregory Peck's son took his own life just 2 months before shooting started. Then, during production, Peck was on a plane that was struck by lightning. A few weeks later, the film's executive producer was on a different plane, which was also struck by lightning. The hotel the director was staying at was bombed by the IRA. A safari park scene went terribly wrong when the animal handler was tragically killed by a tiger. But the most chilling event of all involves special effects consultant John Richardson. He designed the film's most gruesome death scene. On Friday, the 13th of August, 1976, while working on his next film, Richardson was in a car crash in the Netherlands. His assistant was killed in a manner horrifically similar to the scene he had designed for The Omen. Reportedly, a nearby road sign read, "Amen 66.6 kilometers. Coincidence, you decide?" Our runner-up at number 2 is a film whose legacy is forever intertwined with the tragic death of its star, The Crow. This 1994 gothic superhero film should have been the breakout role for Brandon Lee, the son of the legendary Bruce Lee. Brandon played Eric Draven, a musician who is resurrected to avenge his and his fiancée's murders. The film's dark, moody atmosphere was unfortunately mirrored by the on-set environment, which was plagued by accidents, including injuries and a storm that destroyed sets. But the ultimate tragedy occurred on March 31st, 1993, just 8 days before filming was set to conclude. During a scene where his character was to be shot, a prop gun, which was improperly prepared, discharged a fragment of a dummy bullet that had become lodged in the barrel. Brandon Lee was struck in the abdomen and, despite emergency surgery, passed away at the age of 28. The shocking parallels to his father's own mysterious and untimely death were not lost on anyone. The film had to be completed using a stunt double and early digital effects, and it stands as a haunting tribute to a promising talent taken far too soon. The set of The Crow is remembered as one of the most tragic in film history. And now, for the #1 most haunted movie on our list, a film whose production was so disastrous it became a cautionary tale for the entire industry, Twilight Zone, the movie. This 1983 anthology film featured segments by 4 prominent directors, but it's the segment directed by John Landis that is remembered for all the wrong reasons. During the filming of a Vietnam War scene, a helicopter was flying low to the ground for a dramatic pyrotechnic shot. The explosions were far too powerful, causing the helicopter to lose control and crash. The accident tragically killed veteran actor Vic Morrow and 2 child actors, Micah Din Lay, age 7, and Renee Shin Yi Chun, age 6, who had been hired in violation of child labor laws. The devastating event led to years of civil and criminal action against the filmmakers, including director John Landis. While Landis and others were ultimately acquitted of manslaughter, the tragedy sent shockwaves through Hollywood, leading to major reforms and safety regulations for film production, especially concerning stunts and the use of children on set. The cloud of this horrific and entirely preventable accident hangs over the film, making it, without a doubt, the most tragically haunted production in cinematic history. The real-life horror far surpassed anything depicted on screen. And that's our list of the top 5 most haunted movies where actors tragically died. It's a sobering reminder that behind the magic of the movies, there can be real-life dangers and sometimes inexplicable darkness. Whether you believe in curses or just tragic coincidences, the stories behind these films are undeniably chilling. What do you think? Are there any other cursive films we should have included? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into the darker side of Hollywood, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my next upload. Stay safe and see you next time.